Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, the 28th day of March, 2025. I hope you're all safe and healthy today. I hope your families are safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your families in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are doing their best to save lives, those that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help, rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia, people that are victims of pornography and child pornography, human trafficking, sex slavery, prostitution, child prostitution, double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and those perverts that create the demands that these industries exist in. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 600,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and veterans homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There's a basketball game tonight in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The New York Knicks will be taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Knicks have clinched a playoff spot by virtue of other teams losing. I forgot which one, but they have clinched a playoff spot now officially at 45 wins. They are 2.5 games up on Indiana right now. Indiana thoroughly whipped as expected, the Washington Wizards last night, but they do have to deal with the Oklahoma City Thunder in Oklahoma City tomorrow night. The Knicks, meanwhile, are missing Jalen Brunson, Deuce McBride, and Cameron Payne tonight. I'm expecting an 8-man rotation with the possible addition of Tyler Kolek for spot minutes. Yeah, I'm expecting an 8-man rotation with the addition of Tyler Kolek for spot minutes. Now, the Bucks are missing, and they're missing Damien Lillard. Jericho Sims is out with hand surgery. Bobby Portis is out because of suspension. Antetokounmpo, the freak, is questionable because of a sore foot. He has a sore foot. He missed their last game, which they lost, and he's questionable because of a sore foot. So at this point, they're going to start. They've been starting Kevin Porter Jr. in place of Dame Dollar, who's very talented, and they are going. Well, the last time they started Brooke Lopez, the game they just lost, they started Brooke Lopez at the 5, and they brought in Torian Prince along with Kyle Kuzma. So I'm not sure what they're going to have, but for the Knicks, I'm expecting an 8-man rotation. You're going to have, and Tom Thibodeau stated it as far as the starter. It's going to be Delon Wright. Delon Wright starts with Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and Karl-Anthony Towns. You're going to have Landry Shamet, Mitchell Robinson, and Precious Achiuwa coming off your bench. That's your 8-man rotation. They're going to play Tyler Kolek to try to spell minutes for a couple of the guards, but I'm sure that they're not going to play him more than 10 minutes. So he won't be getting rotation minutes today unless Delon Wright gets hurt or is in foul trouble, God forbid. So, but they have enough with what they have. Landry Shamet can play point guard if he needs to. So you got Shamet. Josh Hart has already been showing all year long that he can run the offense, and he's done it. And in fact, when they put a lot of pressure on Brunson, it's Hart or Mikal Bridges that brings the ball up and initiates the offense. So that will continue. So you're going to have basically Landry Shamet, Josh Hart, then Delon Wright handling the guard duties, along with Mikal Bridges handling also the initiation of offense and some playmaking duties. And they're capable of doing that. So I think that's going to handle tonight's business. You also have, of course, Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges that are going to play front court as well. So you're going to really be looking for them to play a lot of minutes today, Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges, but that's not unusual. Then, of course, you still have OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns, and you got Precious Achiuwa. So I think the Knicks have enough to compete with the Bucks today. And I was mistaken yesterday. The Knicks do have a game against Portland at MSG on Sunday. They do have a game against Portland. And in fact, I just want to say, Vernon Smith, Vernon is Vernon J. Smith. He's on the channel. He does comment from time to time, and he's going to be doing the national anthem on Sunday. This Vernon Smith is going to be doing national anthem on Sunday. He's the one who told me about the game Sunday, and he's going to be singing the national anthem. So let's wish him the best. But yes, they'll play Sunday. Now, as far as the injuries, Deuce is listed officially as day to day. All right, so he could come back at any time, but he's listed as day to day, and Tibbs said as much. He's day to day. Cameron Payne, I don't know. They just have him out for this game. I don't know. I would assume he's day to day. They didn't come out and say that he had any grade level of sprain that would create, a multiple game absence. And we know that Jalen Brunson is probably ready to come back right now, but they're being cautious. They want to make sure all these guys are healthy, because now the Knicks have clinched the playoff spot. They're going to be in the playoffs. Now it's a question of third in the East at this point. And they really do have a good position, even though they're only 2.5 games up on Indiana. I still like the position they're in. And so I still think the Knicks will finish third in the East. I know people were saying it might be better if they finish fourth. It won't matter if they finish fourth. I disagree. It doesn't matter if they have to play Boston in the second round or Cleveland in the second round. You got to deal with them anyway. So if you get out of the first round, in this case, right now as it stands today, the Knicks would be playing the Bucks in the 7-game series. Bucks are now 6 in the East. Pistons have now moved ahead of the Bucks in the fifth position. So the Knicks would have to beat either the Pistons, the Bucks, or the Indiana, depending on who finishes 6th. And they're still going to have to play Boston or Cleveland. It's irrelevant which one. They're both the top teams in the East. You got to go through the best to beat the best. So all that we should finish fourth, and some people talk about we should lose if we finish fourth, that's BS. Play the games, finish the strongest you can finish, and take on all comers in the playoffs. That's what you got to do. That's a winning attitude, not a gambling attitude. So the Knicks should be ready regardless, because you still got Mitchell Robinson rounded into shape. You still got the 3 guards coming back. So you got your playoff spot. So they're now just getting ready for the playoffs right now, and hopefully nobody else gets hurt. OG and Mikal Bridges have been balling. Hopefully that continues with no injury. If OG is not first team All NBA defense, there shouldn't be a first team All NBA defense. There's no doubt OG is going to be first team All NBA defense this year. He's been that good. Okay, so and he's in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. I'm not sure. There's a bunch of guys. Dyson Daniels. There's a bunch of guys that could be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, including Dyson Daniels and others as well. Of course, always Rudy Gobert. He's in there all the time. So we'll see how that works out. But OG has been balling on both ends of the floor, playing two-way basketball at the highest level. And then you've got Mikal Bridges, who has been much maligned by the idiots in Knicks Nation and media, but he's been balling also and doing what we expected him to do, yes, for the first five first-round picks. So he's good. And the Knicks are going to be going into the playoffs, hopefully with those two gentlemen, hopefully healthy, as well as everybody else, and Mitchell Robinson coming into fruition here as well. I don't know what's going to happen with Precious. We talked about this because Ian Begley suggested that Precious would be out of the rotation. But I really think, and I know Tibbs shortens the rotation. So, come playoff time, it's going to be the same starting 5 unless he changes it for Mitchell Robinson. And I don't know if he's even going to do that. Tibbs does not like to disrupt a set rotation. He uses the first 30 games to set his rotation. And once that rotation is set, he likes to stay with it because the players get acclimated, particularly on this team where you have OG and Mikal playing, and with Cat playing together for the first time ever, So I don't think he's going to disrupt the starting unit. So I expect Mitch Rob to come off the bench. But Ian suggested that if he does that, that means Precious will be out of the rotation. And given the way Tibbs likes to do his playoff rotations, where he basically goes with 8 guys in the playoffs, so Deuce is going to play. All right, so you're going to have Deuce, you're going to have Mitch Rob, and you're probably going to have Cameron Payne, and you'll get spot minutes for Shamet and spot minutes for Precious. That's how this is probably going to go unless somebody gets hurt. I would really like to take more advantage of Precious and his abilities, especially on defense and on the boards, by starting Mitchell Robinson and then bringing Josh Hart with Precious and Deuce off the bench. But that's up to Tibbs, and he's going to do the movie. But based on his history, and this is what a lot of times people want to ignore or just don't pay attention to what Tibbs' history is to understand what he's getting ready to do. It's probably a 60 or 70% chance he keeps the rotation exactly how it is. He has Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench for his rim protection. He brings him in with Deuce McBride and Cameron Payne. And then you have the starting five. Because remember, there's no back-to-backs in the playoffs. So everybody gets adequate rest. There's more strategy. It's half court. It's defense. It's stops. It's about getting stops. So that being the case, he probably keeps his starting unit the same. You can expect Josh Hart to start in the playoffs and Mitchell Robinson to come off your bench. So we'll see, but I think that's probably going to be the case. You won't see any of the youngins. You won't see after any of the one of the three guards come back. You won't see Tyler Kolek again, not until next year. He's going to be DNP-CDs for the rest of this season. You won't see none of the other guys they sign unless somebody gets hurt. You won't see PJ Tucker. Those guys won't play. You're really going to have the 8-man rotation with Precious and Shamet coming up the rear in the backside. So that's where we're at. I'm confident with that team. We will have Mitchell Robinson healthy. We will have Deuce as well as Brunson healthy. And so I like our chances going into the playoffs. I just want to see us finish strong, which I'm very confident we will. Like I said, I'm expecting to see Brunson Tuesday against Philly still, even though I know there's a game Sunday against Portland. I'm expecting Brunson to be back against Philly on Tuesday. If he comes back Sunday to Portland, fine, because he'll be ready. But I'm expecting him in Philly on Tuesday. And then I'm hoping that we can get Deuce back at that same game. So I'm hoping that Payne is ready for this Sunday, but Deuce and Brunson are ready for Tuesday. And then from Tuesday, that's April 1st, for the rest of the season, at least for the next 5 or 6 games, they can get back in the flow together. And that's it. By the way, interesting stat. The Knicks are 21-6 when Deuce McBride scores double figures. They are 15-17 when he doesn't. So we want Deuce to get in the flow. Okay? We know Brunson's going to be the flow. He's the Knicks' head. He's going to do what he does. But it'd be important for the Knicks to get Deuce in the flow, especially coming into the playoffs. We know what he brings on the defensive end, but he's very important offensively. 21-6 in the 27 games that he has scored double figures this year. Interesting stat. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I won't be watching the game live tonight, but it will be recorded, and I'm going to be watching the replay tomorrow night. But y'all, please enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Enjoy the game. Shalom.